Ladies and gentlemen, our beloved President Biden's DOJ is going after Kash Patel, who is an awesome, very patriotic, high-level official that worked with Richard Grenell, top intelligence chief, during President Trump's administration, and worked alongside Devin Nunes to uncover what essentially was intelligence operatives setting up and framing Trump with the help of media. They're the ones who leaked information. They're trying to go after Kash Patel, who is just amazing. He's awesome. I have the utmost respect for this man. I did a segment prior to this one. All 74 million Trump supporters, people who voted for President Trump, should really follow and defend and make sure that our beloved president doesn't go after people who did their patriotic duty in terms of finding out why intelligence operatives went after an incoming president, which is what Kash Patel did alongside Devin Nunes, Richard Grenell, and others. But they're going after Roger Stone still. DOJ is going after him for taxes. Usually that's the IRS, but you have Kash Patel, now Roger Stone. They are going after Pompeo, so Pompeo and his wife violated ethics rules that State Department Inspector General finds. So that's three individuals right there: Kash Patel, Pompeo, Roger Stone. Oh, look, there's another article about Manafort and Russia. Nobody was ever indicted for working alongside Russian intelligence officials. The whole thing was fabricated. The whole thing was, like, you have to be an absolute imbecile to believe that Trump worked with Russia after all this time, where the Democrats found no evidence at all. They purchased the Steele dossier. Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. And the DNC purchased a dossier full of nonsense and garbage that they would never allow to be purchased against them. So you're talking about very duplicitous hypocrites, very disingenuous people who would never allow the behavior and the actions they leveled against Trump to be leveled against them. Do you think that he was impeached for even asking another President Zelensky of Ukraine to possibly look into whether Biden did something wrong? That was impeachment, even though the federal government now is investigating Hunter Biden. Well, we know how that's going to end, almost certainly. Even I know. I'm usually optimistic about these things, but even I know how that's going to end. Almost certainly, they're not going to find anything. They'll find foul play, but they'll say, gosh, he didn't really mean to do it. Who knows? I mean, you never know. He could be such a train wreck that they have no choice but to continue the investigation. And I do think that a lot will come out of it, especially in terms of the Durham probe. So I'm actually optimistic to an extent, a great extent. But hit subscribe to this channel right now, because I'm going to give you a very unique political perspective. Not many people are putting two and two together. Why do you think? You can look right now. Why do you think Roger Stone's back in the news? They're investigating Roger Stone. They're going after Kash Patel. They're going after Pompeo. They're talking about Manafort. That's four individuals associated in some way with President Trump. It is April of 2021. This is Biden's America. We have tragedies and atrocities taking place every single day. We have a horrendous crisis at the border, worse than anything that President Trump presided over. That's an objective fact. There's more people, facilities are overrun, and morally superior, wonderful, kind-hearted liberal Democrats, there's no outrage. They don't seem to care at all. They just kind of shrug their shoulders. Well, you know what? Now democracy is, we've saved democracy and saved the Constitution, and in other words, they're back in power, and all is good with the world. When they threw that temper tantrum for 4 years, and it was the sky is falling, they melted down every day on social media, and they said Trump was capable of anything, and they accused him of everything under the sun, it was all about them not running Congress and not running the White House. That's what it was about. And then when they had Congress, it was No Medicare for all. Still no Medicare for all. They're not going to pack the courts, although who knows what they're going to do. There's a commission on it. But here's the political reality. The political reality, ladies and gentlemen, is the following. Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse and Cheney and Kinzinger and others are essentially teaming up or allowing our beloved President Joe Biden to go after his direct political rivals in a way that Trump never did. The mere notion that Trump's Justice Department would investigate anyone associated with Clinton or Democrats was seen as blasphemy. Oh my God, it was seen as they're going after the direct political rivals. And Trump wanted loyalty. He wants to go after his direct political rivals. There are 4 people right now, it's April of 2021, 4 people who, like, there's no more drama surrounding any of these people. There was never any drama with Kash Patel. Manafort, of course, Roger Stone. There was nothing with Pompeo. But they have to continue going after Trump and anyone associated with President Trump. Why? Primarily because they have so many different major crises and debacles that they're presiding over. You go after Trump, you then suddenly take the focus off of, a horrendous crisis at the border, which you're talking about hypocrites. They don't care. Oh my God, AOC looked at the chain-linked fence, and oh my God, it was horrible, and Yad Vashem in Jerusalem had to refute her revisionist, absurd, distorted historical claim. She distorted history, revisionist historical claims, saying, learn more about the topic that you're trying to correlate, that you're trying to utilize to describe Trump's facilities, which are now Biden's facilities. Notice how they're no longer the phrase that she used, that I can't even talk about, nor do I want to, in relation to what she was saying on YouTube. I wrote an op-ed in the Jerusalem Post regarding AOC and the absurd, very, very dangerous claims she made. What Democrats do and what people on the left do oftentimes is they utilize tragedy, sorrow, the most monstrous and barbaric and heinous moments in world history, the epitome of evil, and they say, oh, well, that person is a 1930s and 1940s German. Why? Oh, because he's a conservative. Or because those people, you should see how the left every single day views Israel, the only Jewish state on the planet. How do Democrats or left-leaning advocates look at the disdain and the contempt they have? They have a lot more in common with the 1930s and 1940s Germans than President Trump, who moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which even Bernie Sanders voted for, and who signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. And if you want to talk about a despot and authoritarian, he's the antithesis of that. Signed prison reform legislation, negotiated a deal to remove Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. May 1st, 2021, we're supposed to be out of there. But getting back to my point really quickly, Ben Sasse, Mitt Romney, Cheney, Kinzinger, all of these people should be, at any other point in U.S. history, the Republican Party would say, hey, what are you doing? You're going after Republicans for what reason? Wait a second. You mean you're going after Roger Stone? You're going after Manafort? You're going after Pompeo, Kash Patel? You just happen to be these paragons of virtue, whereas you have all the scandals that came in, that entered, all the scandals in 2016, from Uma Abedin to Anthony Weiner, to the Clinton Foundation, to people associated with Clinton, with top secret with top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government, and 30,000 emails deleted, Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. You had an Inspector General report that was that basically said, well, we didn't have an actual admission of guilt. Like, obviously, these people are not going to admit anything. So, and the Durham probe and William Barr said, yeah, we don't agree with that. The evidence we have shows that there was no reason to investigate Trump to begin with. So it's really interesting, this kind of duplicitous game that they play. They spent 4 years complaining and crying and, screeching, oh my God, Trump's going after his direct political rivals. And that's what they did to him from day one, and they're still doing it. And it's because you have never Trumpers. It's because you have people like Mitch McConnell also. Why isn't Lindsey Graham speaking up? Again, I keep saying the reason is because you have to give them a political incentive. That's another story. That's part of it. Okay, you can't demand loyalty if you don't give them a political incentive. But you better believe that Romney and Sass and Kinzinger and Cheney and all of them just love when they go after Trump, people associated or allies with Trump. Because from day one, they tried to keep Trump at bay. And at the end of the day, they lost control of Congress and of the presidency because they investigated a Republican president based on a dossier purchased by Clinton and the DNC. But generally, Republicans, you would think, would ask the following question: why on earth is Biden's DOJ going after his direct political rivals or Trump's allies in April of 2021, when you have all of these problems, serious issues that aren't even being addressed? Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.